Harry Chandler once said, "Take away the newspaper, and this country of ours would become a scene of chaos, without daily assurance of the exact facts, so far as we were able to know and publish them. The public imagination would run riot." 10 days without the daily newspaper and the strong pressure of worry and fear would throw the people of this country into mob hysteria, feeding upon rumors, alarms, terrified by bugbears and illusions. We have become the watchmen of the night and the trouble of the day. Take today, for instance, with Hurricane Sandy circulating our east coast. Without the need for journalists, people would be unprepared for such weather conditions. Chaos would run our communities, and peace would be non existent. At such a time as this, journalists have played a major role in educating the public hour by hour, minute by minute. Journalists are responsible for researching, collecting, gathering, writing, and broadcasting information to the general public. In many cases, journalists may have to conduct interviews and seek their own context to sort out information. Although journalists might spend a lot of time in the newsroom, a great majority of their time is on site spots of their news stories. When people think of journalists, some may think of writers for newspapers. Although that is included, there are many other types of journalists. It branches out to television production, blogs, radio, print, and more. To be a journalist, you need at least a bachelor's or master's degree in journalism. The average salary of a journalist ranges from $30,000 to $60,000. Journalists use the talents of communication, writing, and speaking in order to inform the public of events, situations, and occurrences that happen on a normal day basis. As a student here, I am currently involved in Option LU, a new station on campus for Liberty students. Being a reporter, I have already started to learn all the hard work and preparation that goes into good news reporting and editing. The communication classes, along with other hands-on experiences on and off campus, are benefiting me greatly. After leaving Liberty, I hope to be the best journalist I can possibly be. I want to use the gifts and tools that God has given me to be a great communicator to the best of my own ability. This occupation not only connects me with the world on an educational basis, but also on a spiritual basis as well. Being a journalist is a great platform to share God's values and relate to other Christians and non-Christians as well. This occupation relates truth, justice, and human life. They are all values that God Himself holds very dearly to the world. The proof lies within the Scripture. Since journalism is based on truth, journalists have the opportunity to hold on to that truth and share it with others. There are many Christian journalists in the media today. They have the privilege to work in a secular world and share their own opinions and biblical truths. John chapter 8, verse 31 says this: "So Jesus said to the Jews who had believed Him, 'If you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and will know the truth, and the truth will set you free.'" I, as a future journalist, hold the power to spread this powerful information. With knowing truth, people are able to distinguish lies and confusion from truths and fact. God also values justice. Living in the age of media, there are many times journalists falsely criticize a person or a situation. While this is true, there are also many cases where they may spread justice. This is important because journalists have the potential of either making or breaking reputation. God hates injustice and is greatly displeased by it. 2 Chronicles 19:7 says, "Now let the fear of the Lord be upon you. Judge carefully, for with it, the Lord our God, there is no injustice or partiality or bribery." Journalists hold a particular part in maintaining a fair and just world. Lastly, God values human life. Romans 1:28 reads, "Furthermore, since they did not think it worthwhile to retain the knowledge of God, He gave them over to a depraved mind to do what ought to be done." God values human life and free will. The scriptures say that God eventually gives us over to ourselves. Journalists are given the freedom of speech and press. They are able to voice their own opinions and the opinions of others. This form of free will is powerful. God gives us the opportunity to be ourselves and speak on how we feel. Writing and voicing these opinions challenge the world. In close, journalists have the opportunity to hold the power of truth, justice, and human life to affect others. Journalists can either be good or bad. However, when it is used for good, it serves as a platform to display biblical values.